We consider, evaluate, and postulate everything. Welcome to Capacity Cast with your hosts Michael and Scott. Let's get started.
We're talking about caffeine, or how we use brain-altering substances to get through the day.
I assume you drink caffeinated drinks?
I do drink a lot of caffeinated drinks.
Yeah. Any examples?
I actually didn't used to drink a lot, but at the place I work, we have the pot of coffee going in the morning.
Oh.
And so I've definitely gotten addicted to that. So I've got that regular boost coming in around 8:30.
It's just there and ready for action.
Yeah, and sometimes I make it, sometimes I make more.
Oh, okay.
I made a second pot at noon yesterday because I was pretty tired.
Does it really affect you a lot? Can you tell a large difference?
No, I can't, which is something I wanted to ask you about. But yeah, I can't really tell. I don't feel a caffeine rush or anything like that.
You're probably so used to it that you don't notice the difference as much, or you need more to get the same effect.
That's entirely possible. Yeah. Before the coffee, I drank a lot of soda with caffeine in it. I still drink some diet soda.
Yeah.
How about you?
I do, but the reason that I do is there are some benefits, but the reason I do is I really like iced tea, and that without sugar, just regular iced tea. So when I go to a fast food restaurant, that's what I get. I don't get pop. And then there aren't really a lot of options. You can get water or you can get tea.
True. You got the lemonade dispenser at some of them. You can.
Yeah, but that's a lot of sugar too. I like lemonade, but it is a lot of sugar. It's not really any better than pop.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
No. So for you, caffeine is a thing you take with a meal, and it's not something you have on its own?
In the morning, I would drink iced tea if I have it available. It's kind of like the same thing. It's just that I like tea.
Okay.
More than I like caffeine itself.
I don't know when you start drinking tea, but did you start to notice benefits to it as far as energy levels or anything like that?
It does definitely change things. Like you said, in the morning, you have that groggy type of feeling at times.
Oh,
I assume you...
All the time. Yeah. It just makes it go away a little bit for me
It can help, but then there was a point which we can get to, it makes things worse for me at least.
I guess you have too much caffeine, which can make somebody feel kind of jittery. And then it can kind of mess with them digestion-wise. Which could make... Well, yeah, if you drink, if you heard the expression, coffee makes you poop.
Well, I know that it's
food out of your system.
Diuretic, so you pee a lot.
That as well, yeah. So that's where it's hard to...
It's a nice episode.
It's a good one. These are everyday troubles that people have to deal with. But the thing is, you have the increase in energy levels or in concentration or productivity or whatever, but then you have these side effects that come with it, like being distracted by going to the bathroom more often maybe, or, sometimes you just, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but sometimes I just drink something and I just don't feel like it worked well for me. I don't know how to describe it.
You still have the thirst?
Yeah, I still feel...
Caffeine. Caffeinated drinks, I don't think quench your thirst as well as just water.
That's true.
Something.
But even if you have, like my morning to go to is 8 a.m. I like to have cup of coffee. I like to have a glass of water. And sometimes a can of Diet Coke. I like to have those three things on my desk. And I just sort of sip from them all, randomly. Sometimes.
If it works, definitely.
Yeah, but I can't tell, how much of my getting work done in the morning is because of the energy in the drinks and how much is because I'm enjoying what I'm doing and how much is just
the routine to it.
Yeah, or getting rid of my morning.
You can know by not doing it.
That's true.
Or cutting one out, so you have, instead of 3 drinks, you have 2.
That's true.
Decide, okay, today or this week I will not have caffeinated drink. Or next week I won't have the diet whatever.
And see what the difference
is.
See if
it helps or hurts.
I assumed that the week I did that without water would be a bad one. Probably drinking a lot of coffee without any water is where people get themselves into trouble.
Okay, how about half water? Never less than half.
Just
half a cup.
Dial it down a bit.
Yeah. So you don't go to the bathroom as much?
There are people who drink something like coffee or tea as part of, it's a comfort thing, it's about the ritual. There are some people, some sort of, it's kind of like a data nerd sort of thing where, they're trying to optimize their energy level throughout the day, and they're trying to take notes, and they're trying to eat and drink things that don't have any side effects. And I just wonder, how can you know how effective that is when you're experimenting on yourself? Because the things you do 2 weeks ago can have an effect on how you feel this week. It's just so hard to isolate the variables.
It is challenging, but seeing how popular caffeine is, it's hard to not get a caffeinated drink. You go to a store. How much of the store is caffeinated drinks? It's probably a large amount.
Definitely.
Especially something like Walgreens, where you've got a row row of refrigerated drinks, and then you've got the row of pop, the row of teas, which are mostly all caffeinated, actually.
Sure.
And then you've got alcohol.
Yeah, which has a different, different sort of effect. Being productive while drinking beer, that's something we can talk about in another episode, maybe. So do you ever have a drink just like, I'm tired, I want to keep working, it's at 3 p.m., I need a pick-me-up?
Yeah, occasionally. So I try to avoid it. What I've done in the past is if you have a few hand weights nearby, stand up, because most of the time when I get like that, it's because I'm not moving, I'm just sitting and, either using the computer or... So you get up, you use the hand weights for maybe 2 minutes, and it does help.
That's a good idea.
Sometimes. Yeah.
I do something similar where I'll take a walk around the block outside at work, or sometimes at home. I think
it's a good alternative if you have that extra time and you get some exercise, which is...
Have you ever had an opportunity to compare that with drinking something, or have you just always gone to exercise?
Well, the drink will work consistently.
Sure.
And not so much if you're really tired with I don't know, have you had similar experiences, or either way?
What I've done sometimes is I'll have some coffee or some tea, and then I'll go for a walk, I'll drink some water, whatever, for 15 minutes. And so my theory is that the coffee takes maybe 15 or 20 minutes to get into your system. So then you can go back. Because sometimes when you do a bunch of exercise and you're tired anyway, you try to get yourself kind of revved up again, but then it just makes you tired at the end of it.
Oh.
So you're like, oh, that didn't work. I'm still not really interested.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I guess I try to keep things evened out that way, but it's very do-it-yourself experimental and not keeping notes or anything like that.
Okay, here's a hypothetical situation. You go to a fast food restaurant and you buy a drink. Mm-hmm. Now, can you settle for just one cupful of that drink?
No, I can't, because I feel like I'm not getting my money's worth unless I refill it.
That's one of my problems.
I got to have at least 2 or 3. It's the buffet mindset.
Yeah,
it's not helpful.
I do that, and I go to some restaurants have some really nice tea, others not so much. But the ones with good, I definitely want at least 2 cupfuls, maybe even 3 sometimes.
Sure.
Yeah, or take one on the go, which you're still spending $2 or $2.50 for the drink. I mean, it seems reasonable, but
yeah, they're still making money off of it.
If you drink 3 large cups of iced tea, which is some of these restaurants have super well brewed. I don't know what.
Very overly flavorful.
Yeah.
Tea.
So it definitely has a lot of caffeine in it as well. And then if I drink 3 cups, I can remember specific times where I've done that. And then it's 6 a.m.
Nice.
So, but the good thing, it has a negative of I killed by next day, but then it has the positive of I've done working on personal projects for huge amounts of extended time. Even though I might even feel a little bit tired, it still keeps you awake.
Yeah.
And it has that benefit.
I think the more unevenly you can accomplish your work, if you can have those nights where you get done a week's worth of work or whatever, that's when it's worth, because you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
You're going to pay for all the energy. Yeah. Everything you get up front, you will get to later. And some people I know will do that on, say, before a weekend, which I don't think is good because you need that weekend anyway to recuperate. But if you really are planning to take some work days off after you get so much accomplished, that could be a good investment. Sometimes when I look at how offices function, we were talking about this a bit before, just see how little gets done during the workday. I think they might almost be better off if everyone just kind of took turns plowing into things for 24 hours in a row and then took the rest of the week off.
Definitely. Have you seen or heard of those shows where they say, what would the Earth be like if such and such was different or humans weren't on the Earth? Earth gets overgrown, all of the cities are basically destroyed within 100 years. And so what would productivity of the office be like if caffeine was not a thing? It didn't exist.
Eventually, I think you would have to even out.
Different drugs? Oh, it's cocaine.
Well, that's true. Yeah, cocaine. That's the whole thing, because people take modafinil and like these sleep-altering drugs. If you got rid of all that whole category, I think at first it would be tough. You would notice it in like the stock market and so forth. But
plummets.
After we paid that debt that we've been rolling forward with these drinks, it would even out and mostly be the same as now. But I do think that because it would be more even levels of energy, we do have significant chunks of our economy, especially in like software, that depends on people having huge bursts of productivity. And we might have to give some of that up or find another way to do it, which might take a while.
Yeah. So you think there would be a replacement drug?
Oh, there'd have to be. Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
That's too bad.
It'd be nice if we could find something like that. Did this something similar with fewer side effects.
It doesn't mess you up as much.
Yeah. But ultimately, there's nothing that can, unless you find a drug that can draw energy out of the environment around you into your body, everything you spend is going to have to come from yourself, and it's going to have to recuperate.
Can you think of any other points to the caffeine situation? You definitely want to keep at it.
Yeah,
keep using it.
Shooting up. I tend to keep abusing myself with this drug. But I hit a peak about a year ago, and since then I've tried to wind it down to more reasonable levels and drink it with water and other things like that. And I've tried to.
So you have to pee twice as much.
Yeah, well, yeah, something like. But it means more when I do it. No.
Well, I think the water definitely helps you, because if you just drink the caffeinated drink, it dehydrates you to the point that it's damaging your productivity.
It does, and I have noticed that just drinking a lot of water can often get you the effect you were looking for with caffeine, because you were a little dehydrated. Mm-hmm. So I would say...
You feel so tired that you can't function.
Yeah, exactly. Learning to read your body signals would be something I think people should focus on a bit, but no plans to stop.
Part of the negative for me is that if I do drink a lot, I feel very awake, but at times I can get more of a attention deficit situation where I'm definitely awake, but then I can't concentrate on one thing. So I'll switch between 10 different things.
Sure.
I don't know if you've had a similar situation, but...
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and that's a negative in my mind, because concentrating on one thing is very helpful, especially in programming or similar tasks where you would need that focus.
Mm-hmm. No, I have noticed that, and that's where, for me, just stepping away, taking a walk or whatever really helps me to think, okay, what am I going to do when I come back? And then to focus on that.
Okay.
But by default, yeah, you can definitely get kind of into a good zone and then just keep on going and go right out of it.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that perfect amount, which would be better just to not need caffeine to get there.
Right. But one day we'll figure that out.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Capacity Cast. You can hear more episodes at capacitycast.com.